for joining me today. We're going to be making some cards with our adorable Oh Nuts stamps and dies. For our first card, we're going to be making a top folding A2 size card. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when folded. I'll show you how you can make just a simple, quick and easy card, but super cute with these little squirrels in the stamp set. So for our background, I've got 2 pieces of pattern paper. This is from our Home Sweet Home paper pack, and they kind of look like watercolored backgrounds. I've got one that is just slightly smaller than the size of the card, so I got a white border around it when I glue it down. And then at the bottom, I've just got a strip of green, and that's going to kind of serve as our grass, and then the blue will be our sky. So let's glue those down to the card. Now that we have our background in place, it's just time to build our scene. So I have a couple little squirrels here, and I have the tree, and we're going to glue the tree down first. I love this tree. It's got lots of nice variations. It makes it easy to color. You could easily color this darker and get like a spooky tree for Halloween. You could put some eyes here in this opening. So you can have lots of fun with this little tree here. So we're going to glue that down like so. Now that we have our tree, we're going to start to place our squirrels. And the first one I'm going to glue down is this little guy. It's just his head and his little hands. And he's going to be peeking out of that hole in the tree. There he is. He's just peeking there. I've got 2 more squirrels to add to our scene, and I've already added adhesive foam to the back of them, just to kind of pop them off the card a little bit to add some dimension. So I'm going to put this guy here. I'm going to put our other sweet little squirrel down here. Aren't they cute? Down there at the bottom, it's offering up a little acorn or a nut. I've stamped the sentiment, "Nuttin' compares to you." And we're just going to put that across the top here. And there's our first card. I think it's super cute. It's super simple and easy to put together. I like how the sentiment goes across and kind of covers part of the tree. It binds everything together so your eye flows nicely around the card and the scene on the card. Got the parts and pieces for our next card ready. For this card, we're going to be making a top folding A2 size card again, but we're doing it with craft paper this time. And on the inside, I've already glued down a piece of white cardstock. If I'm doing a colored card, sometimes I like to layer a piece of white on the inside so you have a nice place to stamp a message or to write a message to the recipient. On the front of the card with our layered rectangle dies, I've cut 2 panels, one from this really pretty plaid and another from this gorgeous glitter paper. This is in our fall glitter paper pack. It's a really pretty brown or bronze color. It's nice and sparkly. So we'll glue those down to the card front. And before I actually glue these 2 panels to the card front, I'm going to add a little bit more because I want to add some ribbon, and I like to wrap my ribbon around this before I glue it down. So I've cut a strip of pattern paper that's got these nice fall leaves on it. This is from our Falling For You paper pad. And I just added it kind of across the middle there. And now I want to add my ribbon accent. I love to add ribbons to cards. It adds an extra piece of texture to the card. And I'm going to put it at the bottom of this leaf pattern paper. Now what I've done is I've taken our Easy Tear adhesive tape and I've put a piece on each end of the ribbon at the back. So when I peel the release paper off, I can just wrap it around my paper. So I'm going to put it where I want it on the card, and then I just wrap the end of the ribbon around the back of the paper. so it adheres to the back. That way it's loose on the front and I can tie my other piece of ribbon to it. Now we can glue this piece down to our card base. Now we're ready to assemble the rest of the card. I have cut out with our double-stitched heart dies a little heart and some tan cardstock. I just like the look of things going off of the edge of the card. It's just interesting to your eye. So I've added that with some foam adhesive so it pops off the card a little bit for dimension. And now we're going to glue our two little squirrels to that heart. There's our little squirrels. Aren't they sweet? Their little expressions are so cute, and they've got their little teeth. They're adorable. Now I'm going to add our sentiment. I've stamped out and cut it. It's for you on your special day. We're going to add that down here on the bottom, but I'm also going to put the little barrel of nuts next to the sentiment. So I've got the sentiment and it kind of goes over the little barrel here on the side. And I like that because it kind of ties everything together. So now I'm ready to tie my other piece of ribbon, and I just like to tie simple knots. I'm going to put it over here to the side. So I slide it underneath. Remember, my ribbon is loose on the top because I just adhered it to the back. So I can slide my other piece of ribbon behind it. I usually like to put just a little dab of adhesive where I'm putting my knot. Because I just tie one simple knot, I want it to stay tied and I want it to stay in place. Cross it over and twist it so that the polka dots are at the top. We'll tie our simple knot and I just kind of tighten it just so. I'm not pulling really hard. And then I press it with my finger. And that just presses the ribbon down into that adhesive and makes it a little flatter. And there we have it. And then all I'm going to do is trim a little excess ribbon off. And now I just have my simple little knot over here at the edge, and it just gives the card so much texture. I love adding ribbon like that. The last thing I'm going to do is add some of our glitter enamel dots. These are from the pumpkin season glitter enamel dots, and I'm just going to add a few of those around to add a little sparkle and shine. And here's our finished card. I love it, so cute. For our next card, we're going to make another A2 size top folding card with craft cardstock. And again, on the inside, I've added a white cardstock layer so I can stamp or write a message for the recipient of the card. For the front of the card, we're going to do some ink blending. And I've cut out with our dotted cover die, I've cut out this scalloped frame here with this nice little stitched border. And we're going to do our ink blending on that. We're going to be using this stencil, and this is our Sunshine Layers stencil. So as you can see, we have two parts here that do like sun rays coming up, kind of like a horizon with sun rays. And they are opposite each other so that you can do two tones of colors and get like a layered look. I'll show you that in just a minute. Put that on my cardstock just where I want it, and I'm going to tape it on the back once I get it into place. I'm just holding a washi tape to hold my stencil and paper down in place. And I'm just kind of covering anywhere where I might go out of the lines. I don't want to get ink on other parts of the cardstock. I'm going to be using our mini ergonomic blender brush. It's very easy to use, hold in your hand, and it's got super soft bristles, and it blends ink wonderfully. I have a couple of yellows and oranges that I'm going to use to create the sun rays. You just want to rub or tap the brush into your ink, and then in a circular motion, You just brush that ink onto your stencil and your cardstock. Now I've got my lightest yellow color just blended roughly over the entire panel there. And I want the color to be more intense at the bottom where the sun would be like rising in the sky. So I'm gonna put a darker yellow down here at the bottom. So I actually found that my other yellow ink pad was not much darker than the first one. So I went in with some orange instead, and I think I got a much more intensified look that I really like. So let's carefully peel our tape off, and we will reveal what we have blended. Ooh, isn't that gorgeous? I love it. It looks like beautiful, bright, sunny morning sun rays. Now to fill in the white spaces, we just line up the other side of the stencil so that the stencil goes over the places where we just added ink. And then I will again tape that into place. Now this time, I'm not gonna add any gradient of color. I'm just gonna blend with my light yellow ink, and we're going to see the look that we get by doing that. Now once again, we'll peel our tape away and pull our stencil up and see what our result is. Are you ready for it? Here we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. I could have gotten a little more definition of the lines up in the top if I had used just slightly different colors or gone in with a little more of the yellow on the second pass. But I love the look that this has. Just imagine what you can do with all the different colored inks. You could even flip it over and have the rays going down like that. This is a lot of fun. Just real quick, I wanted to show you how I quickly clean up my stencils. I use our Squeaky Clean brush cleaner, and I just spray a couple spritz on the stencil. And then with our Scrub It Clean cloth, which is our microfiber cloth, I can easily just wipe all of that ink away. And now my stencil is good as new, and I can put it away. It's ready to use next time. And I did that over a scratch sheet of paper, so all the excess ink that's being wiped away just goes onto the scratch paper and not my surface. I'm done using my blender brush for this time. So I want to clean any excess ink off. So I'm going to use our Squeaky Clean brush cleaner again. I'm going to spray a couple of spritz on the brush, and you can quickly see how that yellow ink has been kind of neutralized. You don't even really see it anymore, but I'm just going to wipe any excess ink off the brush onto our Scrub It Clean cloth. You can use our brush scrubber as well. That will help take some of the ink out. And now I'll just let it air dry. You want it to be dry the next time you use it. So once this is dry, I'm ready to use it again. Now I'm going to glue this panel that we just blended the ink onto. I'm going to glue it to the front of our card. And now we can begin to build the scene for our card. I've added our tree. Oh, just look at that. I love that background. It looks like a bright sunny morning. I'm going to start to add our squirrels. I've got our Peking squirrel. I don't know, I just have to add him to the card. He is too stinking cute. So this time I think I'm going to add the barrel over here on the corner and have this little squirrel sitting on top of the barrel of nuts. And there's our little scene. Oh, isn't it cute? I love how it's coming together. This time I used the sentiment, I'd go out on a limb for you. And here's our last card. Another really cute scene card with these squirrels. Thanks again for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these cards that we've created with the O Nuts stamps and dies. You can find these items and more at pinkandmain.com or ask your local retailer. Until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.